War Room, Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room, Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, we've got Senator Burt Jones from Georgia on the line. So, Senator Jones, people want to know, has the situation been sorted? Because in 10 or 12 days, the president's going to be on a trial by the Senate after he's out of office, first time in history. And what they're trying to do is purge him from the political process. They're going to try to take away his ability to run to get his office back in 2024 and to really have the impact he could have in 2022 to take the House. Are things, where do we stand in Georgia right now? There's still all these open questions. You've had these quasi investigations at your committees, and you've had these amazing reports. But where does it stand in the actual process to focus on what happened on November 3rd?
Well, I mean, that process is an issue that never was addressed and doesn't look like it's going to be addressed. I mean, we started our legislative session now, and people are saying, election reform is going to be the top priority. However, but for the last 8-9 weeks, we've been told that it was the most well-run election in the history of the state. So the messaging is a little off in that regard, and so I know we are going to take up some election issues, but as far as addressing or taking a deep dive, anytime you have an issue, whether it doesn't matter what the topic is, you got to be able to pinpoint. You got to get to the essence of what your problem is, and then you start addressing it. But refusing to admit there was any wrongdoing or any issues, is you have to ask the question: what are we trying to fix then? But there was definitely.
Hang on. Go ahead.
There was definitely things that our committee group saw and discovered that we wanted the proper agencies to dig into, and it was just falling on deaf ears. I'll be honest with you, Steve. It was like a Twilight zone down here. I mean, it was like we would discover things, and then it would be defended by the Secretary of State's office. We had an issue down in Coffee County, Georgia, where the county would not certify their votes because the machines, they never could get the machines to properly validate the count. And the Secretary of State didn't hesitate to go down to Coffee County and guns blazing and try to force the lady the elections director to certify the vote. They wanted to drop the hammer on a small little county like Coffee because they wouldn't fall in line to do what they asked them to do. But then when we have videotape evidence of bad looking activity in Fulton County at the State Farm Arena, they turn a blind eye to it. Where election laws were violated, and we have it on videotape. And they don't even investigate it.
So this is my point. This is the wound that won't heal, and this is why Biden and the Democrats have not tried to heal this. But in Georgia, how do you expect working class people, middle class people, which make up the Trump movement or the base of the Republican Party, hearing this and hearing Senator Brandon Beach and knowing what's going on down there, they sit there and they have lives, they have jobs, they're the backbone of civic society. And they look, and because they're out of the loop, and they admit they're out of the loop, right? This is for people they elect or people that are state officials, and they see the Twilight Zone, and they don't understand it. That's how conspiracy theories start and all this crazy stuff starts. Why is the essence of the problem that elected officials at senior levels in the Georgia state government just are too cowardly or too afraid to go down and ask hard questions and have good old-fashioned accountability? I mean, what is the essence of the problem? Why is it the Twilight Zone? And why in a modern society can't we get to the bottom of this? Because I think that's what's caused the frustration. That's what caused the 300,000 Trump voters that did not show up on January 5th. The reason we lost the Senate, and we said this and preached this on the show from day one, You must stand with Trump to get to the bottom of it. Then they'll turn out, but they're not going to turn out for the Twilight Zone. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to play along. So is that the essence of the problem? And then what's your solution?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's not just your hardcore Trump supporters. It's your rank and file Georgian here who is absolutely frustrated with the system, and they're frustrated because of lack of action. And then the only action that they see taking place is we start our session this week, and the first thing our lieutenant governor does is take 4 experienced chairmen, including myself, along with some other folks, and remove them from their chairmanships because he didn't agree with their stance on the election process. And so it's like a play that you see the Nancy Pelosi doing in D.C. right now, trying to silence opposition, trying to put you off to the side and claim that you don't know what you're talking about, and we're going to cut off your platform to speak, kind of thing. So I agree with you in the fact that how do you expect people, your base, your voters, your citizens, how do you expect them to believe in the process if when people go out on the limb to point out what looks to be, the obvious, and you cut them off at the knees and then turn around and tell the people that they don't know what they're talking about, and we're going to prove it because we're going to just minimize them best we can, But this shouldn't be a bipartisan issue here either. To be honest with you, we've had 3 election cycles now, Steve, 2016, 2018, and 2020. Where there has been doubt in the outcome, right? 2016, it was the Russian collusion, right? 2018 in Georgia, it was voter suppression, and now 2020, we have all these allegations. So you have a body of people, a collective body of people who have all been on the side of screaming, there's some sort of election. Fraudulent election foolishness going on, and they ought to be wanting to get to the bottom of the issue, because if you don't have any confidence or integrity in your voting process, then
Amen.
What do you have?
Okay.
Which is, to me, is troubling.
Senator Jones, we got to bounce, but I want to thank you very much for taking the time of being a patriot. We're going to be all over this Georgia situation. John Fredericks, I want to thank you very much and appreciate you taking the time for our audience.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the time and appreciate you staying on this issue because it's important to our states, important to our country, and we've got to have integrity in our voting systems.
Appreciate it, Senator Jones. Burt Jones from Georgia. Is John Fredericks up? John, can you join us?
Yes, sir.
John, have you announced? Here's how much we're committed to Georgia. I think we're buying aren't you buying a radio station down there?
Yes.
Has that been announced yet?
No.
We're in the Georgia is a battleground state, and we're not. Stacey Abrams, out hustled, outworked, did all that, but I can't live with the Twilight Zone. There's something just not right, and we're not going to give up on this. We are not backing off. Right? I don't care if YouTube takes us down in absentia. Right? We're not going to back off this. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get to the receipts. You know why? Because working class people and middle class people just sit there and go, there's something not right, and I don't understand why no one wanted to come up and actually talk about the details, get the facts up. And Duncan and this crowd I think they're a disgrace. I think they're an absolute disgrace. And what they've done to 4 heroes who tried to do something and tried to get to the bottom of this, to then do a Stalinist power play, strip them of their chairmanships when they're the most qualified people. John, you get the last word on this. Where do we stand in Georgia, and how are we going to get to the bottom of it? Because this type of cancer, right, is what brings the system down. When people just say, and you saw it and you preached it on January 5th, Mitch McConnell would have been majority leader. We wouldn't have this fiasco right now in the United States Senate, in our government, in our politics, if they had just vetted this back in November and December.
Mitch McConnell's Republican Party is a postal permit and a donor list. We have 50 million voters. Action, action, action. Number one, we're going to run 3 primary candidates against Governor Kemp, Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. We're going to win the nomination in all 3. I think Beach should run for Lieutenant Governor. I think Ginger Howard, who was on my show today, is going to run for Secretary of State. And we'll see what Doug Collins does for governor. Also got the U.S. Senate race up. That's number one. Number 2, Burt Jones just said, hey, voter reform is supposed to be a big deal. I can't even get it on the calendar. They don't want to look at it. Butch Miller stopping it. Hey, all these senators are up in 2 years also. Let's keep a list of the committee that doesn't allow the voter reform to go forward. The Republicans are in control. Let's get Republican candidates to beat them. Let's get them out. This is how you take the party over. They have money. They have power. Right now, they're in charge. We got 50 million voters. Georgia is going to rise up, throw them out. They're going to take the party over, and we're going to fix this the right way. They got a donor list and a postal permit. We got 50 million people. Remember that.
John Fredericks, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you very much for helping arrange the interviews with Senator Brandon Beach and Burt Jones. Appreciate it.
Steve, this is Radio Free America.
I love that. We're gonna trademark that, just like we're gonna trademark Raheem. Also,
trademark Raheem.
The site's on fire right now because of your swag.
Yeah. I'm currently having it designed, actually, so it'll be up later today.
What is it? But talk about what it is.
Perfect call. I'm going to do it like this.
Okay.
Perfect call, perfect speech, perfect president, right? And you know, there's so many people in the live chat going wild about this. I want to let everyone know that to stay in touch with the War Room, stay in touch with the National Pulse, everything, every development, every new platform that we're on, we communicate it with you via email. You can get on our email list by going to stopthecensors.com, stopthecensors.com. You can go to warroom.org. And Steve?
Oh, we can go to download, go to War Room 2. This is text. Go War Room 2, 888-111 to download our app. When you hit me, that was pretty pathetic.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
Text War Room, all one word, WARROOM to 888-111, and you'll get the app.
That gets the app. Now, if you want to get into the live chat, just go directly to America's Voice. That's all one word, americasvoice.news. You can also go and follow us on warroom.org or minds.com. You get tons of information. You get the clips for the day on there. You go to Gab. You can go to Rumble for all the show archives. Go to all the different podcast platforms. We're up there. We're always number 1, 2, or 3 in the podcast nationwide. We're building a community. Go to populistpress.com, Creative Destruction Media. We're going to be up on every site. We're here to provide you information in the beginning of a community, a global community, okay? We're going to be everywhere, from Georgia to Washington, D.C., to Australia, to Hong Kong, and China. We're going to return. War Room Pandemic in a second.